Good evening and welcome. I am Bill Wagner, as immediate past president of Federation and chair of Federation's 85th annual meeting. Welcome to Federation's first virtual annual meeting. I am proud of what Federation and the Jewish community has achieved this past year, and I'm very optimistic for continued success going forward. As we enter our 86th year, I reflect on the unprecedented challenges that we have faced and managed together. It is clear, wherever we are, we grow stronger together. Now more than ever, we realize the critical importance of investing in a community to ensure the continuous availability of programs, services, and benefits. Thank you to our community members who contributed to our Jewish community COVID-19 emergency fund. You will hear more about this fund later this evening. Additionally, a big thank you to each of our new Create a Jewish Legacy donors. Federation's annual impact report to the community will be posted on our website, shalomdelaware.org. It details the many ways Federation enhances and supports our Jewish community locally, in Israel, and worldwide. I now invite Rabbi Jeremy Winokur, head of school at Albert Einstein Academy, to deliver tonight's Devorah Torah. Rabbi?
Good evening, everybody. This week's Torah portion, naso, literally means to lift up. And I hope that tonight annual meeting gives us a chance to lift up that which is so special about our community. We can, of the Torah portion itself. The Torah brought gifts, the same by each tribe, one at a time. And yet, when all of that is done and said, the Torah to give us the totals of what the whole community together was able to accomplish.
Jeremy, thank you. We're obviously having some issues with the sound. I apologize to everyone. I heard that before, and the words were well received the first time. Nicole, perhaps we can also post that on shalomdelaware.org afterwards, so we can share that very important message. Again, I apologize for that. And I'd like to take a moment now to introduce Richard Levine, current president of the Jewish Federation of Delaware. Richard?
Thank you, Bill. And what a pleasure to see and hear you this evening, even if only virtually, like all the rest of us. Good evening, everyone. I am Richard Levine. I am proud to have been elected president of Jewish Federation of Delaware at last year's annual meeting by virtue of our bylaw amendments enacted by our board of directors last fall. I have the honor and distinction of being the last elected president of the Jewish Federation of Delaware. And assuming that the slate of officers and directors proposed by the nominating committee is approved this evening, I will soon have the honor and privilege to be the first elected chair of the board of directors of Jewish Federation of Delaware. Our chief executive officer, Seth Katzen, will assume the expanded title of president and CEO. Well, it has been quite a year for me as Federation's president and for our Jewish community. I will share now my perspective with you. Last summer, Federation's Senior Vice President of Financial Resource Development, Wendy Berger, and I traveled to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Montevideo, Uruguay, to attend a think tank and fundraising training conference convened by Jewish Federations of North America, the umbrella agency to our federation and 145 other Jewish federations in North America. In addition to the opportunity to meet members of the local Jewish communities and visit sites of historic Jewish significance in Buenos Aires and Montevideo, the conference afforded us the opportunity to meet and confer with representatives of Jewish federations from across the country and to learn from their experience. A few months later, I, along with Seth and past Federation presidents Robin Kaufman-Sarin, Suzanne Grant, and Connie Sugarman, attended another think tank conference convened by Jewish Federations of North America, this time in Washington, D.C., and again had the opportunity to meet with and learn from our colleagues from other Jewish federations. Last fall, at my request, the members of our Jewish Federation Board of Directors toured the physical facilities of each of our 5 beneficiary agencies and received briefings from the executive of each agency. We also got to enjoy yummy dinners at Lodge Lane and Hillel at University of Delaware. Last fall also saw the conclusion of the 2019 Jewish Federation of Delaware annual campaign. Thanks to the amazing efforts of campaign chair Lisa Dadone-Weiner and the efforts of our board members, other solicitors, and JFD staff, especially Seth and Wendy, our fundraiser extraordinaire, and of course, the generosity, commitment, dedication, and sense of community of our donor members, the 2019 annual campaign raised a record $1,924,000. As last fall began to turn to winter, we began solicitations for the 2020 annual campaign, co-chaired by the same Lisa Dadone-Weiner and also Vice President Russell Silberglied. The board approved a new record goal of $1,950,000. And I am happy to report that as of today, the campaign has received pledges totaling $1,612,420, or 82.7% of the record goal. Last fall also saw the initiation of a study to evaluate the feasibility of a capital campaign to raise funds to repair, restore, and preserve our Jewish family campus on the Garden of Eden Road, which houses the Federation's offices, along with the facilities of the Siegel JCC, Jewish Family Services of Delaware, and Albert Einstein Academy. At the same time, our board and staff began to consider steps to evaluate the long-term strategic needs of our Jewish community by investigating options for the conduct of a demographic study to update data collected in our last demographic study in 1995. Our board and staff also began to explore an initiative to identify, engage, and train future leaders for our community. Also on our agenda was implementation of an initiative to rejuvenate our community's culture of Jewish education. In February, Seth and I attended the 3rd annual so-called Delaware in Delray, together with more than 12 Delaware snowbirds at a reception hosted by Stuart and Suzanne Grant in Delray Beach, Florida. Then, as winter was just about to turn into spring, as we all know, everything changed due to the unanticipated and unprecedented coronavirus COVID-19 crisis. Suddenly, we all became locked into our homes, sheltering in place. Like the rest of the world, Jewish Federation of Delaware has been required to reevaluate and redirect its plans and activities. Many planned spring programs were canceled or postponed, and others became virtual activities, including board meetings, weekly Zoom meetings with our agencies, a community town hall, and this evening's annual meeting. Federation's short-term plans were superseded by the need to sustain our community during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. While the 2020 annual campaign has, however, continued and is ahead of pace, of any past campaign, as I mentioned earlier, the Jewish Federation Board of Directors initiated an additional COVID-19 emergency fund to address the immediate financial needs imposed by the COVID-19 pandemic upon the most vulnerable individuals and families in our Jewish community, and upon our community's institutions. Whoops. As I lost my place. Due to the amazing efforts of our board and staff and the resilience and generosity of our members, the emergency fund has so far raised in excess of $175,000. I'm happy to announce that initial distributions of funds will be distributed to the Siegel JCC, Jewish Family Services of Delaware, Hillel University of Delaware, and the Kutz Home within a day or so, to help offset the costs they have incurred to provide continuing services during the pandemic and to help sustain their future and hopefully permanent vitality. Plans for our capital campaign, plans for our demographic study, plans for our leadership development initiative and education initiative have been of necessity postponed, but not forgotten. And we will need to re-examine the timing and implementation of these important items as the new year unfurls. While it will be Seth Katzen's role as president and CEO to talk in greater detail about the activities of Federation during the past year and the dedication and accomplishments of our amazing JFD staff, it's my privilege, and only mine, to tell you how lucky we are to have had Seth's dedication, skills, and leadership throughout the highs and lows of the past year. Seth works without regard to the slogan 9 to 5, generally being on the job before 8 a.m. and working into most evenings. Even when there are no meetings, thank you, Seth. Thank you very, very much for me personally and on behalf of our entire Jewish community. And thank you too to your wife, Emily, and your 3 children for sharing you with us. I could not conclude my comments this evening without also recognizing the amazing skills and dedication of the executives of Federation's agencies. Since we will hear from each of them later in the program this evening, I will not steal their thunder, but you should all know that it is this amazing group of professionals that are the epitome of how and why we grow stronger together. I am pleased to tell you that not only does each of them competently and dutifully operate the agency for which they are charged, but they work together to make sure that our agencies provide needed services to our community's children, teenagers, college students, adults, and senior citizens. It is by virtue of the efforts of these heroes that the agencies they lead, that all of us and our families, God willing, will be safe and well during this pandemic and provided to the extent possible with the services we have come to expect in our community. I want to express my appreciation to the members of our board of directors and officers. Unfortunately, time does not permit me to identify and thank each of you personally this evening, and it's maybe hard to do it in person, for the dedication of your time, talents, and energy on behalf of our Jewish community. But thank you, each one of you. I close my comments now with a big thank you to each and every one of you who have joined our meeting this evening, and all of the others whose efforts have supported me and Jewish Federation of Delaware this past year. I look forward to working with and for you this upcoming year to make our Jewish community even better together. It is now my pleasure to turn the virtual podium over to Seth Katzen, CEO of Jewish Federation of Delaware, who will deliver the CEO report. Seth?
Thank you, Richard, for your inspiring words. This evening serves as my 10th CEO report since coming to Delaware in 2010. When I reflect on these reports, our community has experienced various changes over the past 10 years. We have lived through a downward economy, increased anti-Semitism in our own backyard and around the globe, a series of bomb threats several years ago, and now coronavirus. Yet we have persevered and shown our community and the world our resilience. While many communities across the country are experiencing declines in their annual campaigns, our campaign has grown from 1.5 million in 2010 to surpass 1.9 million last year. Our planned giving and endowments have also grown during the same time period, from 16.8 million in total managed assets to exceed $30 million this past December. We thank our annual campaign donors for ensuring our community's immediate needs are met, as well as our legacy donors who are securing tomorrow today. Our PJ Library program delivers free books of Jewish content to children ages 6 months to 8 years of age, and our PJ Our Way expands this program to age 11, where they select the books they want to read each month. Our federation is now delivering 500 books monthly to families throughout Delaware and the Brandywine Valley. We are reaching our teens through 5 BBYO chapters and C-Team, as well as through our statewide synagogues. Federation's Jewish Teen Philanthropy Initiative teaches the concept of tzedakah and volunteerism. We coordinated a successful MLK Day of Service earlier this year with more than 100 teens participating. A few weeks ago, we virtually connected our Delaware teens with teens from Arad, our sister city in Israel, to write and produce a song with national recording artist, Distant Cousins. We will be premiering this song for you at the conclusion of my report. Federation also engages young adults through Connect, our young adult network. We are learning to create relevant programming that this segment is interested in, not what we think they want. This involves active listening and learning to do things differently. What has worked in the past does not define what's working today. Our community benefits from an active Jewish Community Relations Committee that serves as the social and political advocacy arm of Federation. The JCRC also works with the Helena Wynn Preston Holocaust Education Committee in organizing meaningful programs, including Yom HaShoah. I am proud of how our publication, J-Voice Monthly, has evolved over the years, and it continues to serve as a valued communication vehicle. This past year, J-Voice Monthly received 4 Delaware Press Association Communication Awards recognizing publication excellence. Even during these challenging times, Federation continues to publish a content-rich monthly publication complemented by our J-Voice Weekly sent to 2,000 email addresses every Friday morning. This past year, Federation assisted the Jewish Historical Society of Delaware's efforts to secure their new home at the Cox House, a historic building adjacent to the Delaware Historical Society downtown. As of today, we helped raise more than $270,000 to assist in building renovations. The Cox House will be appropriately renamed the Delaware Center for Jewish History, providing additional office and archival space for the Holocaust Education Committee, as well as the Jewish War Veterans of Delaware. Federation's success is built on a formula of having dedicated staff who live and breathe our sacred mission every day. These past few months have been especially difficult, yet our team's commitment has never wavered. I want to recognize each of them as they serve an important role in our success. Wendy Berger, Senior Vice President, FRD, Rabbi Ellen Bernhardt, our JCRC Director and Community Chaplain, Shari Dim, Create a Jewish Legacy Program Manager, Gina Kazicki, Associate Director of the Jewish Fund for the Future, Terry O'Neill, Controller, JD Schweers, J-Voice Monthly Editor, Nicole Terranova, Events and Marketing Coordinator, Alex Tornick, our Graphic Designer, Ariel Wallace, our Bookkeeper, and Dana Warwick, our Office Manager and Advertising Representative. I would also like to acknowledge Community Shlicha, Daniela Buchstaber, who has served our community the past 2 years and will be recognized later in this program. Our staff works hand in hand with engaged lay leadership. I wish to thank Federation President and now Chair, Richard Levine, for leading our community the past year during these unprecedented times. I also look forward to working closely with Richard in the year ahead and to continue building Jewish community. At this time, I am pleased to premiere our new song, We Grow Stronger Together, produced by national recording artist Distant Cousins, with our teens from Delaware and Arad. Inspirational.
That was awesome.
It was my best Zoom call since the quarantine started, so.
The three of us are a band called Distant Cousins. Welcome to our virtual studio over here. You know, we have people joining us from Delaware, from Arad.
Boker Tov.
The mission today is to write a song, all of us. We're all gonna put our heads together and come up with a song.
Excited to write some music today.
We grow stronger together. החיים אומרים את זה בעברית.
אולי מתפתחים ביחד?
I just don't want to have a bad mindset.
We're living in a new paradigm. We're all having to adjust.
The feeling of community has been really a big source of support.
The whole thing is about being together at home with our friends and family.
I love that phrase, together at home.
I've been trying to connect how much something is important when we lose it.
ביחד, אחרי זה אפשר להגיד never alone.
Whew. Thank you for your commitment to Tikkun Olam. It is now my honor to introduce Federation Past President and Nominating Committee Chair, Connie Sugarman, to present the Nominating Committee report.
Good evening, everyone. That is a tough act to follow. I have to just compose myself for a moment. Yasha Koach, it brought tears to my eyes. That was amazing. That was amazing. All right. I want to first thank the nominating committee. The committee members are Seth Bloom, Rob Goodman, Stacy Horowitz, Michelle Margulies, Meredith Rosenthal, and Josh Schoenberg. Thank you all for accepting the task and for your commitment of time and dedication to our community. It is greatly appreciated. At this time, I would also like to thank our outgoing board members. Our community has greatly benefited by having each and every one of you serve on the Jewish Federation Board of Directors. You have all made great contributions, and we want to express tremendous gratitude and give you all public recognition. Allison Land, Ken Bubis, Jack Blumenfeld, John Elzafan, and Jim Zaslewski. Thank you so much for all your dedication and all that you have done. At this point, Nicole, I think if you can share on the screen, we will put in front of you the recommendations for the slate of officers and the board of directors. I will first start by giving you the recommendations for the slate of officers. Richard Levine, chair of the board. David Margulies, vice chair. Russ Silberglied, vice chair. Mitchell Steinberg, vice chair. Jan Goodman, secretary. Lisa Diodone Wiener, assistant secretary. Robert Horansky, treasurer. And Diane Kane, assistant treasurer. So at this point, I would like to ask Nicole if she could put the Zoom poll up, and could each of you take a moment to vote on accepting these recommendations for the slate of officers. Okay, I think that everybody has their votes in, and I would say 96% are a yes, 2% a no, and 2% abstaining. So at this point, it looks like the yeses have the vote. At this point now, I would like to go back to the slate and talk about the board of directors. Okay. The term that expires in 2021, we have Herb Conowitz, Jesse Miller, Robin Kaufman-Sarin, Josh Schoenberg, Connie Sugarman, and David Udoff. One-year presidential appointees are Robin and myself. And the next would be the terms expiring in 2022, Alan Horowitz, Marty Lessner, Hetty Mintz, and Suzanne Grant. And now we get to the new nominees. Term expires in 2023. Jerome Nachlas, Arlene Johnson, Carol Marcus State, Michelle Silberglied, and Gail Szymanski. Again, Nicole, if I can ask you to put up the Zoom poll, and we will vote now on the board of directors. All of you could take a moment to vote in a second when the poll comes up. Okay, if all of you would take a moment and vote. Okay, we have 97% voting yes and 3% abstaining. At this point, it looks like the yeses have the vote. And I want to thank everyone for your votes and for electing the new slate of officers and board of directors to the Jewish Federation of Delaware. Thank you very much. I would now invite you to watch a special message from our Israel and Overseas Committee. Thank you.
Good evening. I speak tonight on behalf of my co-chair, Michelle Margulies, and our Israel and Overseas Committee. Our wonderful shlichim come to us through the Jewish Agency for Israel. Have you ever thought how difficult it must be for these young adults to leave the comfort of their Israeli surroundings, their family and friends, and come to a new country, a strange city, and be expected to start their emissary journey right off the aeroplane. Their strength and will to succeed should be admired. Daniela, like other shlichim before her, has done just that and won our hearts once again. Daniela, it has been a delight to have you in our Delaware community. You were able to jump right into your duties. You were a quick learner, self-motivated, and an industrious organizer. Not only have you made your way around Delaware, effortlessly connecting us and educating us about Israel, but you connected us to your own personal family story of making Aliyah from Russia and arriving in Israel with very little. Your strength and tenacity has shown up in everything you put your mind to. You've been able to connect to people of all ages with never-ending energy. Your organizational and creative skills shone in the numerous programs you spearheaded, especially Yom HaZikaron, Yom HaAtzmaut, and our community cooking events. With your amazing social media skills, you were able to open up new opportunities to the community and put new ideas into action. For the first time in our Delaware community, you also made history. We were able to participate and be part of your marriage to Noam. It was a wonderful ceremony and reception, and with your usual perseverance, you were able to get all the Delaware rabbis to participate. Getting young people involved in Jewish communities is a worldwide problem. So if you ask Daniela what her biggest accomplishment has been, she will tell you that it is her work with Connect. She has managed to create a database of 60 young professionals to engage in Jewish life and want to participate in our Delaware community. Congratulations on your effort. Daniela, you've been an invaluable member of our team. We wish you luck in your next endeavor. We will miss your never-ending enthusiasm, your wisdom, and of course, your effervescent personality. We consider you a friend, and when we can all next travel to Israel, expect us to visit you and Noam. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maddie Dreeben, and I'm the steering committee chair of Connect, the Young Adult Network through Federation. It's been a pleasure of mine to work closely with Daniela as co-leaders of Connect, from its rebranded launch a year and a half ago to the strong, growing group it is today. It was clear to me from our very first coffee date meeting that Daniela had a talent and passion for building community, and Connect was exactly what young adults like myself had been searching for. A way to meet friends with common interests and values, social events, service projects, and educational programs to connect with each other and our Judaism, and a platform from which we could get involved and share our ideas as a new generation of community leaders. We are indebted to Daniela for helping us find each other and plant the seeds for a young adult community that will continue to flourish. Daniela's passion, creativity, organization, and unbreakable spirit have made such an impact on me, our friends in Connect, and our entire community. I have no doubt the connection she's helped us establish will continue to grow, even after we reluctantly say goodbye. Daniela's friendship and leadership has made a lasting impression that I'm sure none of us are soon to forget. Daniela, I'll miss you terribly. I already do. Thanks for all you've done for us.
Thank you, Gail and Maddie. I would like to invite Daniela to say a few words.
Thank you, everyone. I'm really, really touched. It was incredible. So thank you for this. I can't believe it has been 2 years since I started my position as a community shlicha. I remember my first day at the office, which was also my first time trying a sandwich at Wawa. It was delicious. Time flew by so quickly. In the past 2 years, I've learned so much about myself, about Judaism in America, but more than anything, about the true sense of community. I learned that many times, as an Israeli, I took my Judaism for granted. While here in America, it takes a lot of hard work and effort. I also learned that this community is so passionate about Israel, which was very heartwarming and pleasant. I got to experience Israel through your eyes by hearing your stories and memories from Israel, and I got to share a little piece of me in return. Every day was meaningful to me, whether it was when I was running a program, meeting you for coffee, or just on my way to the water fountain stopping to have a conversation. Out of all the amazing events and programs I ran here, the one that was the most meaningful and memorable to me is my and Noam's wedding, with 10 rabbis and cantors from all the denominations. The wedding was an historical event for the community here in Delaware and showed beyond doubt how special this community is. Our chuppah, with so many community members who became our second family, will forever be a part of us. And it is the essence of the unbreakable bond between me and this community. I would like to use this opportunity to say toda rabah, thank you very much, to a few people who made my time here unforgettable. First, to Seth Katzen, my supervisor and the Federation CEO. Toda Seth, for always being there for me, supporting, listening, and caring. Thank you for confiding in me and allowing me the freedom to create and imagine. Toda to the devoted Federation staff who has always had my back and was a huge support in all of my events and projects. Secondly, to the Israel and Overseas Committee chairs, Yael Simansky and Michelle Margulies, for all your help and support. You are both amazing leaders, and this community is so lucky to have you. And of course, Toda to the Israel and Overseas Committee members who volunteered in all our events and worked relentlessly to bring Israel to this community. Toda rabah to the chair of the Connect Steering Committee, Maddie Drieben. I am beyond blessed to have worked with you on building Delaware's Young Adult Network and to have become your friend. Toda to the Connect Steering Committee members who are leading super busy lives, yet found the time to plan and grow our young community here in Delaware. I would have been lost without you. And the last and the most important Toda goes to you, community members and leadership, for your warm welcome. I am so blessed to have served as a shlicha in your community, and I could not have done it without you. And as we like to say in Hebrew, this is not a goodbye. This is a lehitraot. See you all very soon. Back to you, Seth. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela. I would now like to introduce my colleagues representing our 5 beneficiary agencies. They have each experienced unique challenges due to the crisis, yet they are finding meaningful ways to meet their respective missions. It's now my privilege to introduce Ivy Harlev, CEO of the Siegel JCC.
Thank you, Seth. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to share some highlights from the J. Our 2 main goals are always enhancing and expanding programs and services, and building community, expanding outreach, and supporting families and individuals. Over the last year, we saw a number of successes towards these goals. We added guitar lessons to camp, shared Judaism with our membership through innovative programming like Purim and Sukktoberfest. That name can use a little work. We also did our part to develop future educators and continued our collaboration with JFS with the support of Federation on our 3rd annual Wellness Summit. When thinking about the past year, it's difficult not to make it all about COVID. Yet our successes during this time are no less poignant. Our board of directors have very generously given their time, talent, and treasure to the J with all their heart. Our staff have gone above and beyond to reach out to the community in a great variety of ways. Our members of all ages have been coping with grace through this incredibly difficult time and continue to support and connect the J. Throughout the pandemic, we have always found ways towards our same goals. Our vulnerable community members, we re-envisioned, for our vulnerable community members, we re-envisioned our programming to meet their needs. Our lunch delivery program has now provided over 2,000 meals. And our virtual JCC is allowing members to stay connected through online discussion groups, fitness classes, and mahjong games. Our ECC team are making connections to support our youngest members and their families. From Zoom classrooms to thousands of interactive and engaging YouTube videos to socially distant home visits. Our ECC family is thriving and connecting beyond boundaries. In total, we have offered over 250 virtual programs, which have engaged people over 50,000 times. I look forward to the challenges and opportunities of the year ahead with complete confidence that we will continue to improve lives. We are so very grateful for Jewish Federation, for our sister agencies, and for our Delaware community. Your support means the world to us. I would now like to introduce my wonderful colleague, Basha Silverman, CEO of Jewish Family Services of Delaware.
Thank you, Ivy. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to share with you tonight. I want to acknowledge that many of you and those that you love may be hurting, frustrated, and worried, while also feeling grateful, hopeful, and lucky. At JFS, we know all about the duality of feelings, mixed emotions, and the strategies needed to cope. You are not alone. The JFS team is doing everything we can to ensure a strong and continued presence of support for our community. I'm pleased to report to you on the changes and services JFS now offers. We're making sure that our clients are equipped with the technology they need. Our dedicated JFS volunteers are delivering meals and making phone calls to ensure the comfort and safety of homebound seniors. We are assembling and delivering stay-at-home survival kits. We're offering online support groups for both those who are working on the front lines and teens with focused discussions about their mental health and white privilege. New support groups are being rolled out every week. Please follow us on Facebook for the latest updates. Finally, we created JFS On Call. Our clinicians are responding daily to our new free confidential emotional support line, 781-4JFS or 781-4537. With COVID moving forward and hopefully passing, yet more trauma every day to respond to, we are in action, but we're also in reflection. This is a liminal moment in the history of this organization and our community. It's a time to reflect and examine our vision. As we do on Shabbat, we're asking ourselves, what do we want to take with us? What do we want to leave behind? We are determined to be the best version of this agency that we can be. Right now, we are focused on the social determinants of health, taking a stance on social justice, including the current passionate acts of activism and advocacy with the Black Lives Matter movement, mental health and trauma support, and serving the most underserved at the most difficult times of their lives. We can only do this because we have a strong team comprising staff and volunteers, a strategy, the programming that families need, a strong partnership with JFD and our sister agencies, and you, a community that supports us. We are committed to the Jewish values that power us. We are here for you when you need us and how you need us most. If you or anyone you know needs support, emotional or financial, please call us. Thank you all so very much. It is my pleasure to introduce one of my terrific colleagues, Felicia Alderson, Executive Director of Kutz Senior Living Campus.
Thank you, Basha. So at Kutz Senior Living Campus, our mission is to provide exceptional rehabilitation, skilled nursing, assisted living, and memory care services with compassion, dignity, and respect in partnership with our residents and our families. It's hard to do that when our families are not allowed to cross our thresholds. So that doesn't mean that we're not open and vibrant. We continue to build programs and engage our seniors, despite the fact that their families are unable to cross through our doors. Everyone looks a little different maybe because we wear masks now, but it doesn't change the connection we have with our families and our residents. So let me tell you a few of the things we're doing to stay connected. At Cook Senior Living Campus, we've received 60 hashtag Giving Tuesday Now donations. We've had over 1,200 virtual and or window visits that we've completed between the two sites. We had 36 virtual Passover Seder viewers. We have sent over 35 caregiver and family email updates, reaching over 6,123 people. Over 11,710 people have been reached on our Facebook pages. Just at Kutz, and another 7,473 people have been reached on Lodge Lane's Facebook page. Over 50 decorated cars and 1 fire truck were the most amazing thank you parade in the state of Delaware so far that took place on our campus. And yes, we have face-to-face interaction with our residents every day. So no change there. So a little update on where we are now as far as COVID goes. I'm sure you all are wondering. None of our residents are positive for COVID-19 at this time. We have been testing our residents as of last week, and all of the tests so far have come back negative. So kind of hurrah, poo, poo, poo. However, we found out this week on Tuesday that one of our non-patient care employees did test positive for the COVID virus. They have not been in the building since last Friday, and we have done our contact tracing and our testing for employees who had contact with this person but exhibit no symptoms at this time. We also have a new employee as of today who has developed some symptoms, and so we had that person tested today as well. We are hoping that all of them will come back negative, and I'm happy to say the one employee who did test positive is doing very well with very, very mild symptoms. In addition, yesterday we had a surprise infection control survey from the state of Delaware, mandated by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. I am happy to tell you that we passed with flying colors, having no deficiencies in our infection control survey. I want to take an opportunity to thank all of you, the community that has been so supportive of our employees, of our residents. The outpouring of generosity, kindness, and love that has come from all of you has touched all of our hearts. And we couldn't ask for any more. It gives us the strength we need to go in every day and face this terrible virus to take care of those we love. I also want to thank my colleagues for their fabulous support and the Jewish Federation of Delaware for their support, not only monetarily, but emotionally as well. So thank you very much to all of you. It is now my pleasure to introduce one of my favorite colleagues, Donna Schwartz from Hillel.
Thank you, Felicia. The 2020 school year was on track to be one of the highest numbers of students engaged with Hillel. We were seeing our highest impact on students' Jewish journeys through Israel-related programming, Jewish holiday experiences, internships, professional development, and tech study. And all of that came to a screeching halt with COVID-19 and UD closing. Our staff have pivoted with our students not being in person, mainly through one-on-one interactions, which we've had over 1,200 of them since the beginning of the shutdown. We've done virtual events such as Jewish learning cohorts, Israel courses, and so much more. With the semester being over, we talked to our students about what they need in this moment. Many of them lost internships, jobs at summer camps, or were planning to take classes at UD. Normally, we don't do much programming during the summer months, but after talking to our students, we realized we have an opportunity to continue to support them. Therefore, we built several cohorts for learning. We have 2 different groups of students learning professional development together with the help of Jewish alumni and community members like yourself, supporting them as mentors in their desired field. We're also running a Jewish Learning Fellowship, a Parsha of the Week Club, and a Shabbat weekly gathering. This week, I'm reminded why Hillel is so important for our students who are developing who they are as a Jewish leader. All week long, we have met with students in groups and one-on-one to help them navigate how they want to show up in this moment in our country. Conversations about online presence, how to be a leader in this moment, and what they are scared about have been occupying our entire week. The conversations are hard, but they are enlightening and uplifting. Our Jewish leaders are trying to figure out how to listen and how to support our Black students on campus. It has been an important week of work that we hope will continue helping to build bridges on our campus. As we start to think about the fall and the reopening of campus, we are planning for both in-person programs and virtual events. This means we are trying to figure out plans to reopen the Crystal Center. But if we can't, we will be prepared to offer program virtually. We are grateful for the support of the Jewish Federation, its board, and the staff. Thank you for being our partner in growing Jewish leaders. And lastly, thank you to the community for supporting our students. It's now my pleasure to hand it over to my friend and colleague, Rabbi Jeremy Winokur, head of school at Albert Einstein Academy.
Thank you, Donna. All evidence to the contrary tonight, Albert Einstein Academy, in the wake of the coming of the coronavirus to our community, shifted seamlessly to online at-home classes. So what have we learned? We learned that maybe we have to move things around. We learned that resilience comes from experimentation. And we've learned that just as important as a great math class, the learning of how to read and to write our letters and to be able to compose meaningful reflections on the learning of our history, we also need to have fun. We need to build community. And so after making countless falafel balls for Yom HaAtzmaut, we ground up our own homemade hummus for Yom Yerushalayim. And for Shavuot, shook bags of milk until they turned to ice cream. We did all of that in a way that was meant to be more than just about our school. In fact, we've had almost 1,500 views of our videos of this kind of holiday programming. All told, since March 13th, we've taught almost 700 online classes. We did all of this because we were poised for the 21st century, poised as a community within our school with a culture of caring and paying attention to our students, understanding that we would need to be flexible to meet their needs and that computers were part of the way to go. Has it been perfect? No. Sometimes we lose internet connections and then we bounce right back and win the day. I want to say this too, that on March 12th, we conducted our spring play, Your Real Mensch Charlie Brown, trying to understand the value of seeing the worth of each and every individual and what they bring to the table. And we did so in person as a community. We're going to wrap our students in a virtual hug tomorrow by showing the video of that production to remind them that yes, one day soon, we will be back together, able to give real hugs. And while we have to wait, what we have is the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to have fun together. That is what community is about. I would be remiss if I didn't offer at this particular moment, though, my personal thanks for being able to work as part of a real community. As I end my tenure as head of school at Albert Einstein Academy, I must and do heartfelt offer thanks to the Federation leadership for its time and effort, and to all of our community for its support of Albert Einstein Academy. The school is definitely here because of all we were able to accomplish together. And as we say in this community, we are stronger together.
Of Delaware, our 5 beneficiary agencies, and the entire Jewish community. Thank you all for attending Federation's 85th annual meeting. Congratulations to our newly elected officers, and congratulations to our board members, whether you are serving newly or re-elected. Speakers and presenters, a big thank you. I am very, very proud to be part of Delaware's Jewish community and look forward to sharing in our upcoming achievements and future successes. God willing, we will all remain safe and be able to join next year in person for our 86th annual meeting. Tonight's meeting will conclude with an absolutely terrific video. I now invite you all to watch our fabulous year in review video. Good night and stay well. Thank you.
Even in this time, when it seems like all is lost, I see you from a distance. I'll answer your call. אפילו עכשיו שנראה שהכל אבוד, מתוך המרחק, מתוך הבידוד, we grow stronger together, together at home, מתחזקים ביחד, never alone, לעולם לא לבד, לעולם לא לבד. It's all in how we see it. Perspective is key. You may be stuck at home, but you are close to me. אפילו עכשיו, כשאנחנו רחוקים, מתוך החיים